Hey, what's up Alpha Gang? It's Mike here with another video. Today I'm actually pulling the trigger and getting Underglow on the Genesis. I know some of you guys are gonna say, oh, it's rice, and for what I'm building it for, it doesn't make sense. But the reason I'm actually getting this kit, which I actually ended up ordering off of Amazon, so I think it was like roughly like 130 bucks. It does have a lot of options, and it uses an app actually to change a bunch of the colors, and I'll show you what's included inside here in a minute. But the reason I got it is actually we went to a car show probably about a month ago. We went to Driven Edmonton actually, and they do like cross Canada tours. And my son, I brought him with me because if you've followed me on Instagram or of course or also on Facebook, you'll see that he's in a couple shots here and there. But he loved a lot of the same cars I do, of course. But then he also gravitated towards some of the cars that had like the rainbow underglow that was circulating kind of around the car. And that's what he kept going towards, and he loved it. So the joy on his face, it actually made me want to get it for the Genesis. So I'm trying to surprise him with it. He knows I'm getting it because I kind of hinted at it and I showed him the box. So he's actually really excited. He just wants to see it on the car. So I'm actually installing this for him, and that was pretty much the main reason I wanted to get it done, is just to see the joy on his face, which of course makes me happy as well that he enjoys it. And he kind of has a little bit of a part in this Genesis build as well, or Project Veronica. So I won't be using it a ton. It'll probably just be for like show reasons, or if I have my son with me, I'll set it up or whatever. But I'm kind of stoked just to see his reaction. So maybe I'll get that later and film his reaction after we get it installed. So there are a couple of options as well. Let's get back into the video. To power this unit, so there you can hook it up to wire it towards the battery for that power source, or you can also use like the 12 volt or kind of like the cigarette kind of lighter part to power it as well too. So I'm gonna want to have like a hard source or hardwired into the vehicle, just because I don't want to have to plug it into that little port in the Genesis, because if that's the case, I'll have to leave the little panel that actually covers that area on the interior, and I want to leave that covered. It just looks cleaner when it's closed, so I don't want to always have to like open it up and plug that in for that reason. So but yeah, let's open this up. I'll show you what's inside, and then we'll probably try to test it, see how the lights work, and then we'll probably jack the car up and start with the actual install, and I'll take you through all those steps on how we did that as well. So stay tuned and let's get this rolling. So inside the box, up. Oh, open it up the other way around. So comes with instructions, tips for installation, and basically, this cover as well. I will open this up here right away. The on and off switch. I have it on right now. It's pretty bright, of course. And then we use the app. It was LED Hue, I believe was what the app was called. And then that was a selection that it told us to do in the instructions. And with these settings, I just have to change the total pixels, I believe. I think it might be, I think it's like a minimum of 100, or yeah, minimum of 100. So I'll play with that a little bit if I can, and yeah, we'll try to play with the colors a bit. Select from the previous screen, then you can go to this app here and then change a bunch of colors in different modes. We'll just try the solid. It's red right now, and then I'll just kind of rotate it between the different colors. So green, blue, some purple, and then I'll try some other effects and see what we can do with that. So there's a bunch of different modes. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I guess each one is a different setting, and there's like 120 different settings on here. But here's some of the rainbow stuff that I was talking about before in the earlier video, or earlier part of the video, that I was saying that my son really likes. So this is pretty much the reason I was going to get it. So yeah, you got some of the trailing lights as well, and these kind of effects. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. So we'll start jacking the car up and getting these installed. So the car is jacked up on all four, so let's go get the lights all lined out. I took everything out of the box, and this is where I wired it up just to test it earlier there in the video, because of course you want to test the lights before you actually install them, just to make sure they work. So but as I mentioned before, I'm not going to be using this one with the switch. I'll actually be wiring it up the other way, which it also tells you in the instructions. So here's the LED controller right there, and then I just unraveled it. I did untangle it, so I just took off this little piece. You just unscrew this, and then this connector just pops right out, because I wanted to make sure that everything is lined up properly on each side. So to give you an idea, so this one's still connected, so you have this one on the shorter strip, of course, that'll be on the driver's side front, and then you have this big long strip right here. Just be careful that you don't crimp it or anything when you're unraveling it or bending it, because I'm sure these are probably pretty fragile or might affect your connection if you do damage it. And then that's for the side, and then around here, as you stretch it out, here's the end of it, and this just goes on the driver's side near the back as well. So I'll probably try to find a spot to mount it kind of underneath the diffuser and out of the way, so it's nice and hidden and you get a cleaner install. And then on the other one over here, I untangled this. This will be on the passenger side. There's a passenger side rear, and it comes up here with lots of extra wire that I can tuck up as well. And there's the passenger side strip along the side splitters or skirt. And then this one comes up to the front, and it'll connect up to this connector in the front. I'm going to want to probably try to get this LED controller as close as I can. I mean, there's some wire here, but I want to probably put it in, because the fuse box we have to access is on this side of the driver's side door on the inside. So I want to make sure I have enough room. Hopefully we don't have to extend any wires, but Dustin will be swinging by for that later. But right now I will probably start putting the strip up with the double-sided tape, and then there's these clips over here that come with the package, and some mini self-tapping screws. Here, let me pull out one of these clips here. So this fits, there you go. This will fit around the LED strips, and there's these little tiny self-tapping screws. I'll be able to screw into the plastic as well, just to hold them in place. So I wouldn't rely on the 3M, just because over time, or winter driving, if you do winter drive for jets, or colder weather or the heat, that's eventually just going to fall off. So you want to keep it secured. So it's nice that they do have those tabs. Same with, it does include some zip ties, so I'm sure with any of this loose wire, we'll be able to tuck up and make for a clean install. So let's start going on the underside and putting up some of this underglow. So just a little pro tip, with these little tabs here that come with them to hold on to the LED strips, I use this as a guide because I'm going to have to mount these on the bottom. So when I was putting them up and pulling off the double-sided tape, I put these along the side and just kept on sliding it along while I was taking off the double-sided tape, to make sure that when I put these on, there's enough of a gap that I can actually apply these on the underside. So I pretty much went all the way, I went with this tab all the way along the bottom. So right now they're just held on with 3M. I put one bracket just near the back here, and then I'm going to have to tuck up this cord, or this wire, probably up around the wheel well, just behind. Probably I'll try to tuck it in past the wheel there, and then it'll wrap around the back, so then I can get this other strip right here, and then somehow maybe put these, I'll find a spot in the back there just by the diffuser, so it's hidden, so it's a little bit cleaner. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that part about the clips as a guide. So yeah, these will help right there as well. show you what I'm doing here with the extra wire. I have it secured in a couple spots. You can kind of see one of the tabs I attached there, and then I attached one at the very back. And it's all running along here. And then I have to secure this one a little bit better and out of the way for any jacking points, but I just secured it here as well just to hold that in place. But this wire that's here, I'm just pulling it under really tight, and then I'm gonna go put it into the fender. I loosened up the fender liner, so I took out these pieces, and there's two little screws here. And now I'm just running it up the inside of the fender, and I'm gonna wrap that all the way around on the inside and secure it before I start doing the underglow on the front end. And then I'll do the same on the other side. And the rear stuff is secure, but I just thought I'd show you what I'm doing with this wire, and then I'll just find a way to secure it on the inside, so if it ever comes loose, I don't have to worry about it possibly causing an issue or whatever the case, just to be safe. So, but yeah, just putting this all along the inside of the fender, and I don't want to take the whole fender liner off. I just want enough to just kind of sneak in there to tuck it in, and then I'll make it nice and snug and secure. So that's where I'm at. You can get a better idea there. That's what I was talking about before, where I secured it, and then here's going towards the fender well. I have it going into the fender right there, and then I did pull the fender out a little bit, so it's actually all inside this fender well in here, and wraps around, and then it comes out of this opening. There's a crack here, this is from before, but I'll probably find a way to secure this wire, just so being so loose here, I don't want any issues of it possibly coming back or getting caught in anything, or that for that reason. So I'll probably end up putting some kind of, maybe I'll tuck it up here or secure it on the bottom, but yeah, we'll figure out what we're gonna do with that. But yeah, other than that, that's how I hid the wire there. So the big reveal, I'm not finished yet, but I'm wiring it to, I'm actually going to use the cigarette lighter after all, just because the wire was already there. It was an easy feed, it had enough wire for me, so that's how I'm going to use it with a switch. But this is what it looks like. I'm going to get my son's reaction after this, because he's going to be pumped. So I set it to rainbow lighting because that's what he really wanted. So this is what it looks like. It's very bright. But yeah, you can pick all kinds of different colors. I'll try to get another video at night, just to get an idea. I still gotta tuck up some of the wires and stuff underneath and clean it up, but let's go try some different colors here. Some solid lights. Let's go with red or pink. Let's try, there's red. Yeah, which looks really good. These are really bright. I'm pretty happy with them so far. I would definitely recommend these lights. I'll post a link in the description as well too, so you can buy the same set if you're looking. Yeah, I can adjust it. I'm literally just changing the color on the app here for different colors, as you can see. Blue, pink, and then I'll change the different settings here for different colors. So I'll play with that later, but yeah, I'm gonna go surprise them with a rainbow in a little bit here. So if you're curious what I did for the front, as I mentioned before, I did tuck it into the fenders, but here's the underglow, here's my front lip here. I'll kind of give you a perspective as I come down to the front, and right underneath you can kind of see where I have the strips a little further back. It's still up from my front lip here, because I still want it hidden. I don't want you to see like the LED strips if you're looking at it from the side. I don't like it when it's really visible. I like it just so that you only see the lighting on the underside. I just think it looks a lot cleaner. You do see some visible wires. I couldn't figure out how to just like tuck them all the way, but I wanted to make sure they're secured, so I got some of those clips there, but then it does wrap up underneath. I wanted to try to hide as much as I could, especially the LED controller. So I do have it under my plastic paneling, and then it actually, some of the other areas I ended up tucking up and kind of putting them in like a cluster and tying them all together just to make sure they're nice and tight and secure. But then it runs up on the underside, just through the engine bay here, and then we ended up running it around here, and we clipped them. You can kind of see in the lighting, ran it through here and then through the firewall here. Once we fed it through there, we'll go to my door here. We ended up running it through the firewall, and then you can kind of see, I should get a light there. We took this little panel off, and then just to get the wire through, and then I just have it plugged in right there. The switch is off right now, but this is what I meant, that you'd have to leave this little panel down when you have it plugged into that little adapter, 12 volt adapter, or cigarette lighter, I guess you could say, if you wanted to use it. It was just easier that way. I just wanted kind of simplicity, so that's kind of why I ended up doing it in the end. But as for the back, if you're curious how I ended up running that, because I know I talked about it before, let me just go get the light here. Once again, I'll show you on the underside. So we'll go underneath. Oops. Didn't need that flashlight anyways. So it ended up, I came across, first off on the other side, by the wheel, we ended up running it up. It's kind of hard. You see there's the wire right there, but we ended up tucking it along one of the brake lines that actually runs along the side, and zip tying that line from where it came from the side skirts, and then just up above the subframe, so it was out of the way. And then we just ran it along this, I believe it was a brake line, and then tucked it up there. The underglow, I had it applied up here as well, and I got a couple zip ties as well, because the clips, trying to put them into that metal, didn't work out very well. So I just actually drilled a couple openings as well, and secured it with not just the double-sided tape, but some of the zip ties. But that way it's hidden as well. Like I said, I don't like it when it's visible, if you can see it from the side. I liked it that it was actually tucked up, so then you can't see it from any angle you look at it, but it still gives off a lot of glow, of course, off the ground when you're looking at it. But then we also tucked in the wires afterwards, from both sides, and I put them underneath the panel, and just behind the screw, so they wouldn't come out for whatever reason, so they're nice and tucked up and out of the way. Are you ready? You can open your eyes. Hold on. Are you ready? Are you really excited? You want to say hi to YouTube? Hi. Okay. What, you want to see rainbows, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ready? Whoa. Is that what you wanted? Yeah. Yeah, isn't that cool? All the way around the car. Whoa. Yeah. What color do you want? Purple and blue. How about, you want some purple? Like that purple? Whoa, or how about blue like that? Purple and blue? Okay, let's try to set it up for purple and blue. Are you happy? Yeah. But overall, I'm really happy with how these turned out so far. We'll see how the longevity is, because I mean, I didn't spend a ton of money on it. I believe, like, with shipping and stuff, I guess through Amazon, it was pretty much like I want to say like maybe 130, 150 bucks. It wasn't too bad at all, but I was really excited with my son and his reaction. So that's pretty much the biggest reason I decided to get it. So we'll probably end up, I'll probably put it on the ground later today, and then that's it. That's all there was to an install. Pretty straightforward. I think I spent more time putting the clips up and making sure everything was nice and secure. The install overall was actually really easy, because you have the power source if you wanted to go through that little 12 volt adapter, and then just making sure that everything lines up and kind of how you want to secure it to, I mean, whatever your preference is. I just like to try to get it as hidden as possible and try to tuck up as much of the wire, to try to clean it up as much as I could. But that probably took more of the time than anything, just because I'm kind of picky with certain things, I guess. But overall, it was a great kit. It's got a lot of options for colors. You can change the brightness as well too. So like how I was going across on the app and scrolling it through the different colors and the different modes that you can select. You can also change the brightness. So like when you saw in the earlier clips where it was like super bright, I mean obviously it was lifted so it's not going to spread out that much when it's actually down on the ground. But you can adjust the slider as well for the brightness. So if you're in a dark parking lot or you find it's too bright with cars around you, you can turn that down a bit as well too. So, but yeah, other than that, that's the Underglow install. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to hit that like and subscribe if you want to see more and continue checking out this build and some of the other ones that we might be showcasing here in the future. So thanks again for watching once again, and we will see you on the next one. Have a good one.